Hello everyone, welcome to Automation Concepts with Priya. So today we will uh, quickly build the basic automation that we talked about in last video, and it's going to be very basic automation just to show how we can get started and make tasks simpler. So let's get started with it, and I'll talk about it as we go. First of all, let me show you some background that I have set up to build this automation. Everything is sort of perfect here because I have prepared it perfect to build the automation quickly. And you will have to do that work, of course, in the background for the but for the demonstration purpose, and keep it simple. I just prepare data accordingly. So we are going to automate the invoice creation. Okay. Now, I hope you remember we talked about breaking down the tasks or create a SOP. So this is my simple SOP for a invoice creation, a manual process. So what happens is person A marks a invoice as ready to invoice, which is in, let's say, Google Sheets. Okay. So they change the status from pending to ready to invoice. Then person B reviews that sheet, let's say once daily, and they pick all the ready to invoice records, and then they go to Zoho, find that customer, create an invoice, and associate that customer and product with that invoice. So that's my simple process. We have tried to keep it simple. Okay. Now let me show you the data as well. I prepared this Google Sheet with some data. So this is our item, then quantities that are sold, unit cost of each item, client name, email, invoice ID. This is all made up data, of course, like address and status. You can see this is shows ready and these are all pending. And we have three statuses here: pending, ready to invoice, and paid. And another thing is, so what have I done in Zoho? Ideally, what would happen is if you would actually build the automation, that system will go and check for the customer, see if customer exists or not, then create that customer. If it exists, then go to another path and create the invoice and associate customer with that invoice. But for this demonstration purpose, we'll just keep it simple and we'll assume that customer exists in Zoho, products also exists in Zoho. And that's what I have done. So I've created these three products here and then customers as well. So that's the background for our automation. Now let's start with it. Okay. So that's how the make.com dashboard looks like. When you log in into make.com, this is the page where you land. And I will walk you through the whole dashboard as well in upcoming videos when we will talk specific about make.com tool. For now, we will jump right into the automation. So what we are going to do is create a scenario. So a workflow or a automation in make.com is called scenario. And each trigger or action that enables it is called a module. So for now, as you know, we have this Google Sheet here. So we are going to read data from this Google Sheet. So I'll just try to map it with these steps actually. So so I mentioned that person A marks the status to ready to invest. That is a trigger. Okay. And then how do person B knows that we have ready to invoice is that they come here and they check it daily once. So we'll do that. We'll come here, choose Google Sheet. Not new row added. So you can see that this is one of the modules, which would be our trigger. can say you can search rows as well. Okay. Watch changes. So this is like a webhook. So this will trigger when if they immediately change ready to invoice. But we are not going for an immediate one. We are going for a scheduled automation. So let's go here and search rows. So I just have to authorize my connection. There was permission issue and we authorize them from connections. So let's move forward. So you can say search by path. From drive, I will choose period with me. Then we choose the file, which is invoices sample. Sheet IDs, which worksheet in this Google Sheet. Now the query is what I need is select star where status is equal to ready to invoice. So what is my status column? This is the status column, which is I column. So let's go here and add the query and let's see if that works. Select star there, status is equal to ready to invoice. Change status to I, capital I. Limit, let's say you just want 10 records once. Now to test it, what we can do is click save here, also save here to save the scenario. To test this module, what you can do is right click on the module and choose run this module only. Let's we ran this query and we got the data. There is only one record as of now, right? If we go here, there is only one record with ready to invoice. That's what this automation will check. Now the next step is I have to create the invoice. So we go to Zoho Invoice and we want to create an invoice. Here again, you have to add a connection. Now this customer IDs, it is asking me to choose the customer, but I don't know which customer will come from here. Okay. So how do we map it? Same for the items as well, like which items to add. So how do we map it? Now, first of all, you have to enable this map button here so that you can map data from previous systems. So we'll just save it for now. Okay. Won't save, we'll just cancel for now. Now, first step is we have to find the customers. We will add another module. Zoho Invoice and list contacts. The contacts are your businesses or people, customers essentially in Zoho Invoice. We'll add list contacts. I'll just remove filter for now. The limit is set to 10. Just save it and just run it again. Now I got the list of people in my Zoho, right? Now next, another thing, what do we need? We need is products. So again, add a module. So invoice, and we are going to list items. So now what we need is If we get, let's say, 2, 3 records from here, so for each, it should compare the person and the item. Now that we have products and we have checked it's pulling the data, now we can add the filter. So what filter do we add? Let's see the options. So options are company name, first name, last name, and all these. So in my case, this is the name and this is the company name. So I can choose anyone. So let's go back here and let's choose name. Um, let's put it conflicts. Now we choose the name. So this is the name, Northbridge Consulting. And just copy this name. Paste it. So this save. Now if I run it, remember we ran it first and then it listed all the customers. Again run it. Now it will ask me to enter a name because this is a test. So we can just test it. I'll enter the name. So we have the correct data. That's what we need to test. And that's how you test step by step. Okay? So our filter work. Same we will do for the product as well. So we are mapping data from the input to the action steps. Again, let's say name, go to the items. Let's see the name. Let's map. What do we have? Contains. I don't see the. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong module. Yeah, this is the one. But I'll use name, use item title. Yeah. Now save it in this module and let's add wireless mouse here. There we go. The last step is create invoice. So let me see. I have any invoices. So I'll go to invoices. As of now, it shows empty. Let's see if this system creates invoice. We'll just enable the map here. Okay. And then contact ID from the step where we are listing contacts. So this is the contact. I'll map the contact ID here. Now the next required item, as you can see, there is a required indication here. So we'll just again enable map. Item ID will be from this step, and this is my item ID. And then map the rest of the fields. So rate is rate here. Quantity we should map from our sheet here. What quantity was sold. For now, I'll ignore rest of the fields. We have mapped all the required fields here and just save it. Missing date. So for date, what we can do is either you can choose from here. So when you have pulled the data, if there is date in your sheet. Otherwise, what you can do is simply use make state time functions and you can use now here. I believe that's all. And just save it for now. Yeah. Save and we save here. Now before that, let's just have our data copy. So this is our item ID. And do I get customer ID? If I open this, I get it here. In the URL, you can see that I'm getting it here. So I just copy it. Let's see what happens when we test it. Run this module. Our quantity sold is stored here. Enter ready is this item ID is what's the rate if I go to items 30 we will go in add 30. Let's see what happens. We get an error. The invoice number field is blank. So where is the invoice number? Yeah. Let's say invoice number is, we can say INV dash, and we can add some unique ID here. So what I'll add is stick. Okay. Yeah, we have invoice IDs here, so we will map this directly here. Let's map it to invoice number. Now we will search for our, you can also search it here, Google Sheet, right? Or you can just type invoice ID, so it will show you invoice ID. Here, yeah, good now. Save it. Now let's run it again. The quantity sold is 4. Invoice ID, yes, paste it here. Contact ID. It even shows you old data. You can just select that as well. Invoice, good. Click OK. Successful now. And my invoice is created. We got the invoice ID. Let's go to Zoho Invoice. Let's go to invoices. And here we are. We have the invoice created. So this is now ready. We have not added any checks and all. As you know, we want to keep it simple. So I'll just save it here for now. Now you see here it says every 15 minutes. So I can schedule it. So how do we schedule it? Choose here. It says regular intervals and I want to run it once a day. So I'll just choose every day here and pick one time. Okay. And just save it and activate scenario. You see, just move it. Now to test it, what we can do is let's choose some other option. Okay. Let's choose 4K monitor because that's the product that we have in Zoho. Yeah. So I'll just make it ready to invoice. We will also talk about what we are missing here. So first, let's just run it. Okay. And for now, I'll run it manually. So I'll click on run once and it will run. It got an error. Why did we get an error? Invoice already exists. So this was the issue I was talking about. What we need to do is, once the invoice is created, we need to have another status as well here, which indicates that okay, invoice is created, right? Or you can say invoice sent actually, because we can directly send invoice once it's created. If you notice, I'll show you that option as well. So what we are going to do is magic, add another option, and let's see, which is invoice sent. Yeah. For now, I'll change it manually here, invoice sent. But essentially, what should happen once this is done, then we again come here, come to Google Sheet and choose. We can choose update a cell also, or we can choose update a row. So let's choose like that. Create the name and use my file. Keep the same. Now row number comes from our first step, which is Google Sheets. Let's see. Do we have the row number here? No, we don't. Okay. So we have to add two modules here. One is to search the rows because this module does not return rows. So what do? We add another module. This is called search rows advanced and this is search rows. So I just added it. I added the sheet ID, spreadsheet ID is. So this module has a different way of accessing the Google Sheet. So in this case, we have to add a spreadsheet ID. I just did it quickly so that video doesn't get too long. Okay, so this is our spreadsheet ID. We added it and then we have to search that particular row, right? So what we can do is try to choose a unique value. So invoice ID is unique here. So we'll choose invoice ID. And just come here and add invoice ID, right? Save it. Okay. I have to refresh it once. So I'll just refresh it quickly. Now our automation should find this module as well. If I click on this, it loads now this module and we have the row number here. I'll just map that row number. Table contains headers, yes, and data we want to update is status, which is this. What is our value? Our value should be, just copy it from here. Okay. Be ready. Sorry, should be invoice sent. We'll just add it here and see. Okay. Now it should only, automation should only run for this third row. So let's see what happens. Again, we got an error. Now what happened? Oh, okay. So I guess that customer is not here. Customer not found. So who is our customer here? Brightwave Media. So we use mechanical keyboard. Yeah, Excel Forge is here. We'll just do it for this one. Let's keep it as pending. Let's change it to ready to invoice. So you have seen like how this automation works, right? Data is missing or data is available. That's the reason this is a bit long, and I'm just showing you what happens. Now let's run once again. See, invoice is created this time because it found everything. It found the data, it found the item, mapped the item. Now let's go back to Zoho and see the invoices. Yep, second invoice is ready, and see if the status has changed here. Yes, yes, the status has changed to invoice sent. So awesome. Now my automation works. If you want, I'll add this JSON as well and share this JSON as well. So thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. Have a good day. Bye.